go check out Dead End Sports, man. We broadcast live every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. And that's with your boy FIFO, your boy Beezy, and your boy Ken. And that's hosted by 12 Kyle. So make sure you go check that out, man. We talk everything NCAA, basketball, and football, professional. Yeah, whatever's going on, man. And you know, we throw our own little twists. It's Dead End, man.
And you can call in too and chop it up with us as well.
Yeah, hear me and FIFO yell at each other. There's a lot of yelling on that show.
Stay tuned for the YouTube channel, because that shit's coming soon, man. I don't know when, but
I got a website too for the Dead End Sports.
Yeah, we got a website too, man. DeadEndSports.com. So check that out. And Facebook and Twitter and all that shit, my nigga. Go! Then a hip hop mixtape review. Vince Staples, Shyne Coldchain, Volume 2. Now, Vince Staples is a relatively new artist to me. I've only heard him really collab with Our Future here and there. You know what I'm saying? But I never really checked him out until I knew he was gonna do this project. So I downloaded the one previous that he did with Mac Miller, aka Larry Fisherman, and I checked that out just to get, you know, a little frame of reference so I could go back. And I was feeling it. And listening to this project, man, I could definitely say I like it. Now, a lot of you people on social media is saying that, like, oh, this is like so dope and blah 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 blah. Vince Staples is dope, but it just didn't move me like that. But there were some definitely bangers on here that I definitely bang with. The main one being Oh You Scared with Jhené Aiko. Man, I feel like I don't know who produced that joint or how y'all came up with it, but the way you guys utilized Jhené on that shit was crazy. And Vince, I think from beginning to end, he's a consistent rapper. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like like his flows and stuff, I don't feel like he really took me to a lot of different places with it. But dude is nice, man. He's definitely a spitter. And then the one right after that, Trunk Rattle, that nigga's like, nigga, I got the trunk rattle like I got a body in this bitch. That shit was hard, you know what I'm saying? But like Vince, for me, man, he's definitely a spitter, but he doesn't, I'm not wowed by him, but I really like him. It's definitely in the rotation. Definitely listen to this shit. But you know, I feel like he has a place, and I'm not sure if he can give me more. I don't know. You know, I'm interested to see in the future who he collabs with. You know what I'm saying? When the album comes out, you know, just got signed to Def Jam. So there's a lot of things happening for Vince right now. So I'm just interested in his future. I'm definitely gonna be checking him out.
Start off with the first track. Was that Progressive 3? I wasn't really feeling it. Then it got to what's that? Lock and Loaded. Wasn't really feeling that joint. Yeah, then I think because like No ID produced the majority,
like
so I know.
6, I think.
Yeah, so when it got to, you know, Lock and Loaded and Humble, I was like, okay, this was a little bit less stellar of No ID production on here, and Vince Staples wasn't really doing much for me. Then it got to 45. When it got to 45, I was like, okay, this I like this joint right here. This is a good one. I thought 45 was real nice. It seemed like it picked up for me at the start of 45. Then it went to the track that you talked about with her, Jhené, produced by Childish Major. That joint was cool. I thought
You Scared, huh?
Yeah, I thought that was a nice little smooth joint right there. I like that one. Then it got to Trunk Rattle. Trunk Rattle was another one of mine. I like that one. And then the joint he was talking about his father, Nate. That's actually my favorite track on here, actually, because he was kind of able to kind of open up about his childhood, growing up, trying to want to do stuff like his dad or whatever like that. So that's kind of relatable, you know what I'm saying? By me having a father, you know, growing up as well.
But wasn't it interesting? You talking about I want to kill somebody because my dad did?
I mean yeah, it's interesting. But you know, that's just if you have a father figure in your life, you're gonna want to be like your dad, whether you know it's right or wrong. So I thought that was interesting. He kind of opened up about that on that song, that was my favorite song. And then it got to, what was that, Turn. I didn't like, that was another like less stellar No ID produced track, and Vince didn't really, I ain't like it. That shit was whack. I ain't like that. But and then it got to what was that, Shots. Shots was cool. I like Shots. Shots was alright. But then it ended with Earth Science, and I was like, that wasn't a good way to, I think, to end the project on Earth Science. I think just production wise and Vince Staples, yeah, like you said, Vince Staples is not like a wild type of MC, but I mean, he's not like completely garbage or whack. He's
consistency is the word, yeah, like, to me, because it's like he's not surprising. He doesn't give you anything out of his box, yeah. But I don't, you know. And
that's why I like the Nate. I think the Nate track the most out of it, because it just seemed like he kind of, you know, stepped out and kind of was showing his vulnerability on that one. So I was like, okay, that was dope. But for the most part, this was just mediocre at best. I guess that the middle chunk of it, of the mixtape, was like pretty much the the meat and bones and everything for me on this mixtape. The beginning of it, and like, you know, the end, like with the exception of shots, but the end of it after Nate, I wasn't really feeling the majority of this mixtape. And you know, when you have a 10-track mixtape, little room, it's small room for error. You know, if you got 10 tracks and with no features, you better make the best out of it. And I don't think he really made the best out of it. It was, like I said, just an average mixtape.
I like how you utilize the features. You know, two singers. You know, and taking a non-rapper feature approach. I think that was you know, that was cool. I think just to give you a little bit more events and talk about some of the things that, you know, he's seen from where he was growing up, and then talk about, you know, his childhood growing up as well. Going over No ID beats and you know, being gifted those by No ID himself was definitely a different sound compared to what he was doing with the Larry Fisherman project, Stolen Youth, and then even Shyne Coldchain Volume 1, which had more of an Odd Future type sound because he rolled with them. And for the most part, I think, you know, I think consistency seems to be the word, and I think he did what he needed to do, and he's showing that he can rap over different type of production. He's not stuck in just this one sound, because oftentimes if you come out with that, you know, that Odd Future sound, sometimes you can be pigeonholed in that. And you know, if I'm Def Jam and I'm listening to this tape and I'm seeing how he sounds over No ID beats, which kind of teams middle to mainstream, you know, you're looking at that and you're looking at the response, you're like, hey, people, you know, like it, and maybe we can actually do something with this guy. Overall, I thought the tape was okay, you know, that I heard. I don't think, you know, like B, I don't think the beats necessarily blew me away, because until B told me, I didn't even know ID even did beats. You know, it just seemed like he was just, you know, picked some beats that were sounded different than what he did before, and that he rapped over it. So content-wise, I think that was some of the things that I liked from what I heard from Vince. And you know, for him, it was a good opportunity after, you know, he basically gained a lot of attention from Doris to really get out here and try to take advantage of that and put something out. And, you know, the people seem to be feeling it a lot. So, but Twitter can definitely, you know, they'll mess you up, man. They'll set you up real quick and make you think something's like super, super dope. And then you listen to it and your expectations sometimes can be set super high. So I don't know if that's what happened to you, but no, I was talking to FIFO.
Oh, no.
But well, it kind of sounded like that's what you were saying in the beginning. But yeah, I think he you know, he did what he was supposed to do, man. He took these different beats and these different sounds and he wrote the songs, he rapped, and he said, I'm gonna give you all vents, and that's it. Again, I like what he did with the features. Nate is probably one of my favorite songs on there too, because I like how he used James Fauntleroy on that, and how that little break in the bridge and that, you know, and that was it. All in all, I mean, you know, what, 30 minutes maybe tops. So yeah, you can listen to this shit real quick, and that's it. Pop it out, and then you're on to something else. So yeah, he didn't put out anything whack. I think that's important if people looking at you. Yeah, so it's cool.
I didn't really know what to expect from this. When I first listened to it, I was like, all right, it's cool, but it's not wowing me, it's not moving me. Second time, not wowing me, not moving me. Third, fourth, fifth time, not wowing me, not moving me. So finally I was just like, all right, it's cool, I like listening to it, but I have little to no desire to put this on. Like, I like Vince Staples. I think he's an interesting rapper. You know, I clearly got an Odd Future feel when I listened to it. You know, the dark production with the off-kilter way he rhymes. You know, I immediately thought of Earl. And then listening to the whole project, he just reminds me of a mixture of like Earl and Damo, which isn't a bad thing. The only difference between them and Vince Staples is I get more of a feeling of sincerity with Vince Staples. I believe his brand of hood stories. You know, I don't doubt that he comes from that life. I don't doubt that he went through those things. And I think that that's really cool. Like, I like his style of storytelling. He's vivid, and he just does it really well. Just a lot of the songs to me on this mixtape just kind of ran together. The only song I can really say, well, actually with the exception of the Jhené Aiko track, that song jumped out because it didn't sound like any of the other tracks. Again, I feel like if this came on, I'd be cool with it being on, but I wouldn't have any desire to go put this on. But
not even none of the tracks from it? Like there's like the Jhené Aiko one?
Humble.
Okay.
That was my shit. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. I love that shit. That was like my favorite track on the whole album.
I deserve this shit.
I deserve this shit. I'm not humble. I deserve this shit. I liked that track. Listening to this, the most perplexing thing was the fact that Def Jam signed this guy, because not that he's not talented, because he's a very talented rapper. He's a very talented MC. He's got a great way with words. You know, we ski masking, but niggas ain't going to aspirin. Like, dude has some wordplay. It's just I don't hear radio with him, so it was just I thought it was odd that Def Jam picked him up. It's a cool mixtape, but I don't see myself listening to it very much. You know, Vince Staples is a great MC. It's just the songs didn't jump out. Like, none of the songs jumped out to me.
And I think that Def Jam, I didn't know he was signed to Def Jam either until recently, so that was news to me.
I think it just happened.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And I think that they're just trying to take advantage of the momentum that he picked up from last year, the Doors, his verse on Doors.
It was that much more.
But I think a lot of people were really talking about Vince. Vince came out of that shining. And I think, you know, talking about the radio cuts, I think that may be why No ID was graced him with some beats, just to maybe kind of test the field.
Not these beats.
Those beats that he gave him, they were clearly not radio beats. Like, you know, a No ID beat.
Radio beat.
He gives you a radio beat if he wants you to have one.
Shit.
Yeah, he didn't give him that. Or like even some like Jay shit. He didn't do that. Or Kanye shit.
Type shit.
He gave him beats that fit that mood that Vince Staples has. That dark mood, but at the same time, like I heard some people say it was like really, the album was really whiny or complaining. But nah, man, like the thing about like one of y'all was saying that you only got vulnerability from like one song. I think it was one of y'all said that, but I thought the whole mixtape was vulnerable. Like, he was very honest. Like, especially with a song like Nate. Like, he's not just rhyming for the sake of rhyming, and he's not just like, I'ma kill you. He's explaining like, this was the only real role model I had was my dad. My dad was a drug dealer, a wife beater, but at the same time, he was my dad and I had nobody else to look up to, so this is what I did. And I don't feel like he was like bragging about anything on this. I don't feel like he was big up in being a hood dude. He was telling you real shit that happens when you're a hood kid. I thought that was really cool. It's just the sound of this, I think needs a little bit more variety, because just the beats is just all kind of blended.
So you guys don't think Lock and Loaded could have like a mainstream? Really?
I don't think that there's
Lock and Loaded, not the song itself, but the beat. I'm talking about the beat itself.
No.
Wow.
I think the only one that I could potentially hear on the radio is "Oh You Scared."
Right.
If he would have came with a little bit more, and I'm fine with how it came out, because that's my favorite song on there. So I'm fine how Vince did it. I'm not saying he should change it or whatever, but I think that if any song would be on the radio, it'd be that one, and maybe if he had like a little bit more energy, more bounce to that. But I don't hear this on the radio at all.
I think the beat down Lock and Loaded, to me, I could probably see them flipping that into something the radio has.
You talking about flipping? We talking as is.
Right.
We're not talking flipping nothing. We talking this project. What song you taking off of this? And I said none of them. I don't think there's anything that you could just play on the radio right now.
He's not radio accessible at all. Not his flow, not his style, not his content. He's just not a radio rapper.
No,
he's just
content-wise. I was just talking about the production, some of the beats that he picked from No ID. That's all I was saying. I thought Locked and Loaded could be one. If he changed up the song and wrote something different, I think it could be something that they could try to push. But you know, that's just me. I don't want to spend too much time on it.
Yeah, man. Vince Staples, Shyne Coldchain, Volume 2, man. I thought it was a pretty good project. Again, didn't wow me, but I definitely bumped this shit in the whip. Definitely. Nigga, I bumped this shit like there's a body in the damn truck. That's how I bumped this shit. Nah, this shit's tight, man. I like Vince Staples, man. Keep doing your shit, man. Congratulations on signing the Def Jam. You know, I kind of like the moves Def Jam's making. So I think potentially, I don't know what they're doing overall, but that could be a very good look for you. You know, so keep doing your thing, man. Keep banging out, you know, your projects and shit. And, you know, don't always care too much about what we say.
You know, this project mediocre at best. Vince Staples was a cool MC. He's not a garbage MC or anything like that, but it's just that middle part, man. Just I like that middle part of it. Other than that, yeah, I won't have really no desire to listen to this again, except for that middle part. Maybe I'd take those songs, put them on my iTunes, but everything else will go. But hey, download it, check it out, listen for yourself. I know I know he got a buzz. I think he's about up for like the ex-freshman of the year or something like that, the freshman class for DeVille. So, you know, hope he do that. And if he makes an album, I mean, I'm gonna check it out. Cause like I said, he's not a terrible MC or a bad MC, nothing like that. It just, this mixtape was kind of like mediocre at best. So, you know, it didn't really grab me like that.
Yeah, this was a cool project. I can see why a lot of you guys out there like it. Vince Staples has a sound that you know, that young sound that I think a lot of you guys can appeal to. I don't want to put it into a young sound, but he has a sound that a lot of people are, you know, necessarily fuck with. My interest in Vince Staples lies in where does he go from here and what does he do, because he has 3 different projects that have 3 different sounds. So when he puts out an album, would he be able to take all of those sounds that he's basically rapped over, and he's done a fairly good job of rapping over those different sounds and different beats, and put them together to make a cohesive project. With this one, he definitely talked about a lot of the things that he encountered, a lot of things that he's seen. You know, of course, he talked about his father and stuff like that. So he gave you some insight into him, and now it's just taking that and taking it to another level and putting out something that's completely cohesive, and that's something that we'll be looking for and checking for. So that's it. So Vince Staples, congrats on the signing and keep doing your thing.
When this is on, I enjoy it. But I think that the issue with this project for me is it doesn't have staying power. I think it was a natural progression from Stolen Youth. I like it more than Stolen Youth. But at the same time, again, I don't feel like I would be riding around like, man, I need to listen to that Vince Staples right now. I'm saying that now. Who knows what might happen in a month. I might love this. But again, I love his wordplay. I think he sounds great over a beat. I like his brand of storytelling. I think he's very good at it. It's just the overall sound of this project, it didn't interest me enough to make me want to listen to this a lot. But I'm one person. Obviously, this shit is working very well for Vince Staples. So, hey, keep doing your thing. Like everybody else said, congrats on the signing. Hopefully Def Jam doesn't try to put their penis in your booty. And if they do, tell them, no, I'm telling a cop. You're not gonna do this to me.
It's Illuminati, Mike. It's Illuminati.
But yeah, if y'all wanna listen to it, go listen to it. I ain't got nothing else to say.